All right, guys, so they're still doing a lot of reveals over on the charity stream. If you haven't done it yet, you should probably check them out and see what they've been doing. However, now we have some more reveals coming for Genesis. I'm going to let the devs take over and tell you about said things.
And what this is going to be is this is going to be very similar to all of our previous platform structures in that you can build on it, you can place anything on it. It's a foundation for building anywhere you want. The difference being that it floats on water. It's very sensitive to land. It can't be placed anywhere near land. It has to be fully in the water, but it will stay on the water. And then there's a giant hole in the center that you can fill up with foundations, or you can leave it open so that you can create a safety pin for any of your water dinos so that they're actually safe floating out on the open ocean.
Oh man.
And this is one of those things that over time it will degrade. You'll have to take care of it and maintain it just to prevent them from being a nuisance and just left all over the place, as we know people tend to like to do. It's going to have a very, very, very high structure limit since it's not a moving platform.
I'm sure people would like to hear that.
This is a place where you will be able to have your base out on the open water on the ocean, and then there will be two different size variants. We're going to have the wooden size, which is going to be a little bit smaller, with quite a large hole in the inside. Still, I think I can't remember exactly how many foundations across, but it's quite a few.
Yeah.
And then that will actually fit inside of the larger metal one, and the metal one will be much larger for a full size. You could build an actual full size base on this and live off of this raft with everything you need, and maybe even a few dinos for storage. So we're trying to give players a way to play on the water and be more in tune with the water in Ark. And then we're going to make sure it supports full attachments for ropes and all that, so you can actually get back on it. But yeah, that's our floating ocean platform.
No, this is exciting. I know it seems like, a lot of people, like, building is a large part of our game, and giving people options and new ways to build. We have a lot of creative builders, especially in the PvE community. There's a lot of creative builders. I see builds on Twitter, I see builds on Reddit. So this just gives more creativity and gives a little more flexibility to those people who do like to build. I'm sure there's other practical uses for this too, but I know that, typically PvE community loves when we introduce new structures, whether that be cliff platforms or saddle platforms or whatever it may be. I know they have a time with a lot of the platform stuff. So, and this also gets them, like you were saying, I get a lot of feedback about, more things to do in the water, whether that be creatures or just getting them out in the water a little bit more. So this is a step closer to that.
Well, and right now the only way you could build that on the water is either a dino with platform saddle, which is going to be super limited because that many moving structures just is very rough on a server.
Yes.
Or you have a raft, which is very similar. It's very limited. It's not. You don't have a lot of options. Or the next tier up is an underwater base, which is a very expensive structure. You need tech to just be able to run it and power it, and it's a very wide gap between play. So this is more for a sustained life on the water, or being able to have just that mobile base and have a crafting thing, up safe up top, or a place just to get away from the water dinos, all the sharks and whatnot in the water, because it can be very difficult going through our water.
And the flip side of this is probably, at least something that I see from it is it also expands the areas that you're able to build. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
It gives you more space, even though we didn't make the map bigger. It gives you more options and more areas to build. So it feels like the map will be a little bit bigger because now you can build here, you can build there. Typically water, as he was saying, there's only limited ways that you can build in the water, but this opens up the door for different builds and different, opportunities to live out on the water or near the water, which would not be me. But,
But you think about that, right? Like, it opens up what you guys initially thought you could have done on, like, the island, for example, right? And it's just like, oh my God, like, now this is an entirely new option. Like, what does that even entail as a player? and it's just another unique opportunity of expanding what we plan to bring for Genesis, not just from a new content perspective, but as well as updating what you initially thought was the meta and what you initially thought was possible for gameplay. So this, you know, in its simplicity, offers a lot of complexity.
No, it does, and it's getting people out to where they want to be. People talk about the water a lot, whether that be more dinos for the water, more things to do, more exploration, more discoveries to have under the water. So I think you're being heard in that sense, and that I think this next DLC will definitely show you more things to do out in the water. This is being one of them. This is definitely one of our focuses on this DLC is trying to give you more options and more flexibilities, and whether that be places where you can live or things like this where you can start to expand out on the water a little bit.
When we have shown at least some of the different places you'll be.
Yes.
And given that one of them has quite a bit of this substance, we needed a way for people to actually be able to play and survive in that environment, and we lack the structure for it. So this is filling a need and enabling gameplay that wouldn't be anywhere else, but definitely, even more importantly for Genesis, is making sure that it's complete.
What it sounds like is that this is going to be important,
Maybe a little bit.
strategically.
A little bit.
All right. All right, so it's not just a PvE thing, what it sounds like. It could be a PvE thing, but it sounds like it may be a little bit more important. Who knows? That's cool, though. I think that, again, more structures. Typically, nobody's going to be mad with more structures. I don't see anybody complain like, no, I don't want any more structures. Stop putting those in the game. In fact, they want more. So I think this is a step in the right direction as far as more structures, more, ideas that you can build with. So it'll be really cool. Really cool.
So awesome. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about in regards to the Ocean platform? Any last remaining notes you might want?
No, I think we got it all.
Yeah. I love
Better not be expensive bills, Zane.
Well,
No, Jay said, well.
it is
on that
Ark.
one.
Ark
Yeah.
is Ark. You gotta get the materials for these things.
I get it.
They're all over the place.
Yep.
Cool. No, I'm looking forward to that and
I'm
more.
glad I
but-
can't see the Twitch chat right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're all right. It's everyone just talking about
It's like that joke didn't go over well at all.
Yeah,
saying,
no,
No.
we don't find that funny.
Nah, so, and just to get you guys caught up, we did have a massive donation earlier, and just getting that, we're just going through the process of getting verified, but excluding that, as soon as we're completely sure that's completely out, right? We are currently about to break over $24,000. So we're almost on to our next rate, and then
what is that, 3.5 once we
Yeah.
we're
it'll be
over
3.5.
4 already. We're already
Oh,
at
wait, no,
4.
it'd be 4. It'd
4.5.
be 4.5. Yes.
It would be 4.5.
Uh-oh,
What is that,
this?
sir?
all the resources.
Oh, donations.
All right, so then we'll go ahead and read a couple of donations up until our next event, which is at 4, which we're also going to do another Spice Challenge, which includes Zane this time.
Oh, exciting.
And
All right, so we got Furry of OZ from Ragnarok 28. Ragnarok 28, is that PvE? No, I'm just playing. PvE? No, I'm just playing.
here, just give it to me because I'll just
Jimbo Slice. Go ahead, Zane.
Elaf for $50.
You guys are donating so
Night.
much.
So what it sounds like in this context with the Ocean platform, because this is the first time they've ever had to create a structure where you could build on top of the ocean. So Atlas is a thing, guys, and there's huge oceans in Atlas, and they spent a lot of time making technology where they could have multiple servers host different maps, and it's a vast ocean with islands all throughout the area. I feel like that technology costs too much money and is too valuable and has too much work on it for them to not use it in Ark. And obviously it's compatible with Ark because it uses the Ark platform, at least Atlas does. Just some food for thought. Maybe we're gonna see some really, really big oceans in the expansion, and that could make for some really interesting points for PvP because you're not really restricted as long as you can make these platforms. Anyways, let's move into the next reveal with the developers.
All right, there we go. What do you guys think?
Moly.
That's pretty cool, right?
Listen, Chris, you and the team. There we go.
There we go. Tech remote guided missile. My
We're gonna
apologies.
leave this in the back.
This is a cruise missile that is a shoulder-fired missile. As soon as the player launches it, they get to watch the missile go out and expand out into its full missile size shape, and then they assume control of the missile from its viewpoint and can direct it to wherever its target is. It'll once it hits something, that'll create an explosion, or you can actually remotely trigger it too early if you want for whatever reason. You're also not forced to stay in the missile. You can jump out and let it continue just going on its path straight from where it left. And it does quite a bit of damage, but it is a one-time use rocket launcher. As soon as you use it, it's gone. Very similar to like a Javelin type missile, but you're just remote guiding it in after that. It does get a lot harder to control over time. It starts to speed up. And then the missile itself can be painted on, it can be written on. You can use these to send messages
Oh man.
with your gift of a missile to
Oh,
whoever
I can
you're sending that to.
anticipate some of these messages.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then at the really cool part, and this is the beauty of it, is after you've hit, it'll do a nice little pan out so you can see the carnage
Oh, nice.
of what you've done.
Yeah.
Which can't be skipped if you don't want to watch that, or if things are a little hot at the moment. You know, you're in some heavy PvP action. This is going to be cool. It's going to be fun.
It looks like that trailer, or that, not trailer, but the teaser for it looks
Oh yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
it's pretty quick. And if you did notice, there was a little bit of highlight around the Pteranodons.
Mhm.
Might have a little bit of assisted visuals to help you get to your target more accurately. But it's not a mobile thing.
Gotcha.
It is a missile.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
I think some
you gotta
concerns.
plan some things out
Yeah.
before you're gonna hit something.
Because I could see someone being concerned that it's very agile and you're able to, swing around and move around.
Yeah,
with
you're not
this
flying
thing.
it into a base
Okay.
and around the base.
Gotcha.
That
Gotcha.
would be a very difficult thing to do.
Gotcha. That's good to know, and that's good and feedback to give to people, because I can already see people cringing when they see that video, like, oh.
Yeah, you can go and play the video again. Just remember to mute the music.
Yeah, mute the. Yeah, but
This is amazing.
Oh, now you unmuted it, I believe. Wait. No, he's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, he's good. He's good.
Smart,
Come on, man.
smart.
Let him do his thing.
Yeah.
The design of it looks cool too. Just the actual model,
Yeah, the
man.
UI
That
of it, the
looks
design.
cool. I like it.
This was clever. This is cool.
This is fun. This is gonna be. I know a lot of people were saying PvE devs, and hopefully this isn't too scary for the PvP side of things, because rockets are strong. They're very effective. Explosion damage is a very serious thing in our game.
Yeah.
It has a lot of impact. So this is gonna be a big PvP item. It's still pretty much locked down by turrets. Turrets, control the skies as far as projectiles are concerned. So it's not going to have an easy time getting through those types of barriers. But in open war PvP, or once you've gotten those turrets run out of bullets, or you've tanked them enough, however you've managed to get their generators through whatever means you use, our players get pretty creative. That's where these things will start shining.
Gotcha.
Man, that was awesome.
That was, man.
Actually, I had no idea that was even a thing.
Oh, it's fun to fly too.
Well, like I haven't seen it. Like I haven't been in all the gameplay reviews, right? And then so like that's my first time seeing the entire thing.
No, it looks cool. I knew of it, but I had not seen the model. I really like the design of that. It looks really cool to me. I like it.
So this was an interesting one in that some of the developers here didn't actually get to see the guided missile system. That's actually really strange, to be honest with you. And we see this at the exact same time that they see this. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential for this. Probably not so much on the PvE side, but this is definitely going to be a PvP type weapon. I can see a lot of people being upset over it because it's a guided rocket, and I mean, easy killing people that are on top of really strong dinosaurs, or ambushing them from a cliffside. I don't know how this one's going to play out, and I don't know how the community is going to like that. However, I think the big one here is going to be the ocean one, to be honest with you, and making a platform that floats on the ocean that you can build off of and do stuff with. I think that's going to be the big one, and I can imagine this rocket, like, I wonder, can you use that while you're mounted? Did they mention anything about that? I don't know if they did or not. But if you can use that while you're mounted and flying, for instance, I mean, you could do some pretty serious sneak attacks. Granted, it's only a one-time use item, so you'd have to have multiple rockets in your inventory to really do some damage. And I would imagine it also does a lot of damage to tech because it is a tech weapon, obviously. It's a tech version of the rocket launcher. This is going to be interesting. I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments section, obviously. And what do you like of two of these items? Like, what one do you like the most? For me, gonna have to be the platform. But I'm not a huge PvPer on Ark. Maybe you like the rocket more. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Let's wait around and see when they do some more reveals. Also, $32,000 currently raised. That's awesome.